Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation.
Just kind of let you guys get an idea of what it's like here. Stop here for. I want to just turn right back around. This is about where. So we're walking. We've already crossed the water, and
what is up, guys? Welcome to the transparency.
A lot of rotten pieces here. Just kind of let you guys get an idea of what it's like here. Stop here for. I want to just turn right back around. This is about where Abby got a picture, or Libby got a picture of Abby. Okay. So Ted and I are walking to the other side, and we are holding hands because it's pretty intimidating. And as you can see, you're still pretty high up off the ground. There's a ground down there. And we'll kind of let you feel like you're walking with us. Lots of rotten railroad ties, but you can kind of skip them. Now, if you've looked at any of the video of the guy that actually recreated where the girls were, I think, I want to turn around Ted for just a second right here. I think they got over right here, maybe.
Right here. I think they got
over right there, down toward the end. Yeah, he waited, and then he started coming. That's right. So we're not probably right to the spot. I'll stop this, and then I'll just keep going. So it might be a little bit of a long video. We'll see if I can upload this to Facebook here. Yeah, but I do believe that when the girls saw him coming a little bit faster, so you can walk a little faster now. A little nerve-wracking here. Hang on.
Do you guys see right there that you can see that road, that access road? Okay, so
let's finish this. Okay. We're almost there, okay, guys? Bear with us. I'm just trying to give you an idea like this. Oh, there's the other part of the drive.
Right there. You see that? All right, let's talk about some stuff. Come on, guys. Walk. Welcome. Good morning. I have maps I'm going to show you that I made. It's a moving timeline that I'm going to show you. We got problems. When I say we, the state has problems, and I believe that the defense is going to show these problems. So let's take it like we were in the courtroom. Okay, so.
Okay, let's finish this. Okay, we're almost there, okay, guys? Bear with us. I'm just trying to give you an idea what it's like to cross this baby. And see, now you can really speed up here because you're getting toward the end, and it's a lot easier to go faster. Now, could it be?
Okay,
now, I think this little path. Do you see this? You
And
see this
right there, you see that?
driveway?
All right.
He could easily say down the hill. And you could go down. Looks like people slid down. Look at this. It looks like people have come down this way and slid down this hill.
Okay, so when you would get off the bridge, I want to show you guys that when you get off the bridge, that would be going to the left. Okay, so right here, when you get to the end, you can either like see how it says right. If you were to turn right,
could it be?
Okay.
Now I think
right there, she's gonna move the camera and go left.
this little path.
Okay.
Do you see this? Do you see this driveway? He could easily say down the hill.
All right. So the testimony that we've heard, the first person that testified that was one of the three witnesses, Voorhees. So the witness, this next witness, she was a Delphi high school student. In 2017, she was a sophomore. She knew Abby and Libby. She was out on the trail that day with two of her sisters. And her friend. And she's like a hobby photographer. So she had her camera out there. All right. Again, two of her sisters and her friend. Now, the path she would walk from her home. So it's important to understand that this witness says that she walked from home. So the path that she would walk from her home, now she would get to the trail. They would basically come in from the side, cross from the Freedom Bridge. Now take a look. Good old Hector here. Okay. Freedom Bridge. So this is 300. Okay. The old CPS building. This is the path that would go, the dirt path would go up along it like this, and it would take you to like this octagon area where you could either go a left, Freedom Bridge, then you would continue. This is the junction. And if you would go left, it would take you to the mirrors where people would park, the two spots to park there, or you could continue on to the Monon High Bridge. All right. And then this is that access road. All right. So they came in from opposite. So there's trails that go like this way. And that's how she's saying that she walked. They walked there. They didn't drive. Now, just because somebody walked there doesn't mean that somebody left there by means of walking. You could actually leave by getting in a vehicle. Let's not, you know what I'm saying? And who wouldn't want to do that if you're there and your other friends have drove and they met you? You would, hey, oh yeah, give me a ride, or I want a ride, or hey, I want to stay longer. So, so just keep that in the back of your mind. Now, so she is walking to get there, and she would get to the trail. They would basically come in from the side, cross from the Freedom Bridge, and follow the entire High Bridge trail all the way down to the bridge. She did not cross. So she's coming in they're coming in like this. Then they're coming down to the high. This is the High Bridge over here. Okay. And Voorhees didn't cross. Okay. Because she just goes to like the first platform. This witness was talking really quiet, so some stuff is missed in terms of just like if she missed like a couple words or something, but so ultimately the way down to the High Bridge, like I said, she did not go all the way across. She went to the first platform. They were taking pictures. Okay. Nobody else went out to the bridge. Nobody else went out onto the bridge. Her friend Bree. Now Bree is Bree Wilbur. Okay. And it's interesting that she's saying this. So she's going to talk about Bree Wilbur here. And she's saying her friend Bree went out just a couple of steps onto a couple of the ties. So they had left home at around 11:30. They got to the bridge around noon. All right. So the first thing that I went ahead and noted here, is for you guys. Now check this out. Now, according to her, after they went off the bridge, they went down beneath the bridge by going down the right-hand side, she said. There's an area where there is there's not as much brush or trees, no path, but down there's just kind of a clear area that you can see other people have gone down there. And it's a very steep, but you were able to go down all the way down to the water. So they went down there and took some photos down by the water. Then came back up and were walking back towards the Freedom Bridge. Now, based on her testimony, since they didn't cross the bridge, right here before you're about to go over the bridge, that's where you would have to go down the side, like down underneath from over there, from on like this side of the bridge. Now, it's imperative to understand that they went down there, they're taking pictures. Then they come back up. All right. She then came back up and they started walking back towards the Freedom Bridge. She said the reason that she knew that it was 47 degrees is because her mom reminded her of that. Whatever. They were walking back toward home and they were almost all the way back to the Freedom Bridge when a man walked by them and she said hi, and he didn't say hi back. He didn't say hi back. He just glared a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you where I have a problem with this. Betsy Blair. Betsy Blair is allegedly seen on the heading eastbound towards the trail at 12:22. So here she is, eastbound, heading this way. This is 300. Here's Betsy Blair. Here is the Hoosier. So here's the camera. So right here, she's 12:22. And then literally it's such a short distance that then you would be parking here. And then you'd be getting out of your vehicle. And then now Betsy Blair, she was the avid walker that said she walked the trails all the time. And she had her famous 3 loops that she would take. Okay. Betsy Blair would testify that that she would see nobody out there except for Abby and Libby and the bridge guy. And I am going to show you how this is absolute fucking bullshit. All right. So Betsy Blair walked the same exact loop, and she had a Fitbit on. All right. So Betsy Blair would park her car. She said right here at the mirrors, there's like 2 side-by cars you could fit right here. She would then get out, and this is her loop. She would walk down, and you can either go right or left. Okay. Her loop is that she walks down and then she makes a left. Okay. BB walks down, and her loop was always that she would walk right until the bridge would begin. And then this is where she would turn back around like this, and then she would walk back, and then she would be then heading towards now the Freedom Bridge. Okay. She'd go over the passing, come down, go through this little octagon area where there's a bunch of, I don't know, landmarks, whatever. She'd walk through that, and then you would come down, and her turnaround was when she would walk down, and there's the passing of it's a rail, there's like another bridge that it's for cars though. And that's where she would turn around, and then she would come back across, all right, and go back over the Freedom Bridge, and then she'd make her next loop. So down again, back around. Okay, that's her loop. So she would come out, and she would go left to go towards the Mountain High Bridge. Then she would get to that bridge starting point. She would not cross the bridge. She would just use that as her turnaround. Then she would go all the way down to like 25. It's just walking along the high, like on top of everything. And then turn around, come back. And when she got back to this juncture here, okay, that would be considered one loop. Now, so going back to Voorhees for a second. She said that she knew that she had to be home at 2:30 because she couldn't remember if it was her or her sister had cheer practice that day. It was a day off from school, but at the same time, the squad, they still had practices just like a lot of sports teams do. So they had to be home to be able to be at cheer practice. So she said on the stand that she believed that it was some distance to get from the trails back to her home. So they had gotten to Bree's house around 2:20. Okay. And based on that, now Bree, remember Bree Wilbur. So at the beginning, she's saying that she's walking from her home. So now in the testimony, now she's going, when they're going back, that they're now going to Bree Wilbur's house. So she had gotten to Bree's house around 2:20. And based on that, she estimated that they had seen the man out by the Freedom Bridge at around 2:15. Because what she's saying here is that, now this is going back to the first girl that said, hey, it was me, two of my sisters, and another friend. And that we went down and we were taking pictures down by the water. And then we came back up, and then we started walking then towards the Freedom Bridge. And then when we did that, we then veered off, to head home. But when we did this, we saw, that's where she saw the bridge guy. Okay. And so she estimated that she saw this guy around 2:15 because like she was home where she needed to be at Bree's at 2:20. Now, I'm so fucking sorry, but there's no way that it was 5-minute walk from here to where you live, but we'll let you go with that. So this is why her statement was that I would have saw a bridge guy around 2:15. And so she pointed out 2:15. Well, guess what? 2:15 is just 2 minutes after 2:13. And remember that 2:13 is the timestamp of the bridge guy video. So if she is seeing that she saw bridge guy over here, okay, or, in this area, whatever, at 2:15, bridge guy, it is impossible to walk and be where this video was at 2:15 because it's way more than a 2-minute walk. So you're like, that's just impossible. It's just not humanly possible to get from where she said she saw him. There's no way that you can walk and be over there by, he wouldn't be able to be on the bridge guy video here at 2:13 and then had seen her here. Also, you would have passed Abby and Libby. You would have passed Abby and Libby. Do we understand this? Because Abby and Libby get dropped off here. I want to say 1:38. The reason I'm saying 1:38 is because I have the first movements of Libby with her health data is 1:30. And I think that's when she was walking to the car to get into the car. And then they drove then. And it takes about 8 minutes. So, and then she said she called her dad. And Kelsey said that she called her boyfriend. They both called this, two different people at 1:38. And at 1:41, there's a picture of them still in the vehicle, this alleged selfie. And there was another selfie at 1:43. Okay. And then, but Kelsey is not seen on the camera driving this way to take 300 to go into town. She's not seen on this camera until 1:49. Okay. And so I'm like, what the hell? Were you just chilling at the entrance parking way for at least, 10 minutes? This is going to be very important because let's see here. How do I want to do this? Have a great day, Swade Smith. Okay. All right, let me back up. So I want to have all of these moving parts at the same time. All right, so this is what so based on Voorhees saying that they got there around noon, Betsy Blair gets out of her car just a couple minutes after 12:22. And so Betsy Blair would then comes down and she's going to do her loop. Okay. Betsy Blair didn't see anybody when she makes her first loop. She says that she didn't see anybody. And she said that nobody was parked down over here. That would mean that the girls, allegedly, Betsy Blair is truly like being honest, that those girls would have been down underneath taking their pictures on, right? Underneath that part. And so Betsy Blair makes her loop, right? And she comes this way and she walks down. Okay. Then she comes back. And this is 20 minutes to do because then this is what I did. Betsy Blair makes Betsy takes for her 2 loops, it takes her a total of I'm just going camera to camera. Her vehicle allegedly is on camera at 12:22. She does these 2 loops. Then she gets back into her car to then be on the camera at 1:15. So she was able to do her 2 loops in 53 minutes. And when I say I'm talking about 2 loops plus, like, I'm just going camera to camera, 53 minutes. So I believe that when she did her second loop, and this was, if we go to loop page 2, this is loop 1, page 2, when she does this second loop, okay. When she parks, or I'm sorry, not when she's parked, but when she's to do her second loop, when she comes back here, instead of like going to do her third loop, she's walking up this way. Okay. And so you're going to have to put her there at a time stamp. And so we know that she's on the camera to leave to go to the bathroom, allegedly, because she has to go to the bathroom. So if she's seen on the camera at 1:15, I'm placing her right here in this nice little junction where she has to decide if she's gonna go into her car. And I'm gonna put that at 1:10. Then she walks up, gets in her car, and now she's gonna come. And now this is what she says she does. She says that she gets in her car and she goes to the Delphi library. She goes to the Delphi library to pee. Then after she pees, she gets back in her vehicle and she goes back to the trails to finish that one loop. I said, okay, well, I figured out that Delphi library is a 4-minute drive from where she was parked. 4 minutes. So 4 minutes to get to the library, and then I'll give you a couple minutes to pee, and then you would get back in your car and you'd have 4 minutes then to drive back to trails. I'll even give you 5. 5 there, give you 5 minutes in the bathroom, okay? And then 5 minutes back. That's a 15-minute trip. That's what I said back then. When I saw these timestamps, I said, what the hell was Betsy Blair doing? Taking a shit? Betsy Blair literally is on the camera allegedly coming back because she left at 1:15 and she's seen on the camera to then here. She's seen on this camera 1:15 leaving. And then for loop number 2 or number 3, because this is her coming back, Betsy Blair's coming back and she's on the camera and it's 1:46. And I said, well, wow, that means Betsy Blair, this is a 31-minute trip. And let me tell you something. If I had the runs or had diarrhea or whatever, and it's not just a quick piss, I wouldn't be going back out to the trails to have a fucking problem out there. All right. But allegedly she came, this is her vehicle. All these 3 times that they're seeing this. Oh, yep, that was me because, oh yeah, that's right. I had to leave because I didn't feel good or I had to pee or whatever she's saying. And then I went back to the trail because I need to get my steps in. So I'm going to make my last loop. All right. Because they want to account for this vehicle. This is Betsy, okay? Now, Betsy says, though, when she is coming back, she's on this camera at 1:46. Kelsey is coming from this way. Betsy is coming from this way, okay? 1:46, she's on the camera, and she would then pull into the spot, and she said that no cars were there. Well, wait. Kelsey's there. Kelsey's there. Well, Anna, how do you know that Kelsey's there? Well, because of Liberty's phone. That's how I know. Or she should be, or she didn't go there at all. Betsy Blair says that there was no cars there when she came back. And so she's just pulling in. So she would be 21 seconds after 1:46 and 21 seconds, right? And then we see a car that is coming this way, seen on this camera at 1:49. And they say that is 1:49 on the same camera heading this way. And that this is Kelsey Germans. Okay. Because she had just dropped the girls off here. She's coming from this way. This is the cemetery of this. You're coming down this way. She pulls in, drops the girls off. Well, guess what though? The girls at 1:38, Liberty makes that phone call. And Kelsey has said that the reason she knew what time that she dropped the girls off or what time that they were there is because she called her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is Chase Wilbur. Chase Wilbur is Bree Wilbur's brother. They are brother and sister. Okay? So you're telling me that we have all of Kelsey's friends the fuck out on that bridge right now, under it, walking all over. And Kelsey comes. She didn't want to hang out with them at the bridge. because what she says that she does is she drops them off and that she drives into town, grabs her boyfriend and goes and has lunch. Then she goes back to her boyfriend's house, which is also Bree's house, Bree Wilbur, where Voorhees and them walked to before to go to cheer practice. Remember, they had cheer practice. She said her boyfriend had to go to work. But then here's Voorhees. Ready? Here's Voorhees saying, well, I knew. So here it is. She knew that she needed to be home at 2:30 because she or her sister, she could not remember, had cheer practice that day. It was a day off from school, but at the same time, the squad was like that they still had to do, their cheer. So she was still doing their practice, so whatever. So it was on the cheer team. Needed to do that. And it was some distance to get from the trails back to home. So they had gotten to Bree's house around 2:20. And based on that, she estimated that they had seen the man at 2:15. What the fuck? Okay. Where is it? Here we go. All right. So, she's the one, just as all of these broads have said, that Bridge guy was in his 20s or 30, poofy hair, like just fucking not Bridge guy. But so she claimed that the way out to the high bridge, he walking back towards the Freedom Bridge. So that was an additional person that they had seen out there because somebody was walking their dog. And they had stopped to take a picture at a bench. And the bench was on the map kind of just before. It was just past where, this is where this octagon is. Okay. So when they're walking back home, she said they took pictures down at the bridge, but then when they're coming back home here to like veer off, they take a picture on the bench. All right. And that they took that bench picture. There's a photo. They'll be able to identify the location because in the background of the photo, there's a building with a green roof. And it is a farmhouse that's off in the distance. So they are able to locate the farmhouse on the map. And from there, figure out the general area of where this bench was. So they stopped to take some pictures at that bench. And it was after that, when they were going back towards the parking lot, that they saw who they thought was Bridge guy. Now she's saying, if you're going to be walking back to the parking lot, it's right down here, and there's a parking lot right over here. Okay. Do you understand that you'd be, what's her tits? Betsy Blair would be all up in this shit too. So she said that her bench pictures, though, she didn't have those because they were on somebody else's camera. So Bree Wilbur, who takes the stand next, okay, she says that they were on the trail. She was also 16. She was in 10th grade. Kelsey was one of her best friends. So Breanne Wilbur is Kelsey's boyfriend's sister. Okay, so it's like, oh my God, this is my best friend, and I'm dating her, like her brother. Or I started dating her brother, and I became like a, but that's just so you guys can see how that is. So Bree, who was out there on the trail with them, she was, like I said, 16. She was one of Kelsey's best friends, and she knew who Libby and Abby were. Libby and Bree were friends on Snapchat. So she reiterated that they had gone out to the High Bridge Trail, that they went out, she went out with her friends, and now she names these other people, Rayleigh and Anna. So it's like Rayleigh, Anna, and then you would have Riley, and then it'd be Bree. She would not go across the bridge. She does not go. She takes a couple steps. She was not going across that damn bridge. Okay. She would not go all the way. She's not one of those people. So she said they saw a few people while they were out walking, and they were just taking pictures out at the High Bridge and chatting, and that she posted some of their pictures on Snapchat. When they were leaving, they took the same path back, and they also saw people there. So they had provided police with photos taken from her Snapchat that they had the timestamp on them. And one of them was Exhibit 211, which was a copy of her Snapchat photos. So the first one that she provided was a photo of the High Bridge. And this was at 12:43. So 12:43, she's over here at the High Bridge, and you have, so there you go. See that? Whoopsies. 12:43. There was like a 12:46 one. And then remember, though, that Voorhees, who's with them, she's like, I think we got here, though, like around noon. So they're all together, they say. And that was at 12:43 p.m. And then the photo that they had described taking at the benches on the way back, that was taken at 1:26. Okay, now, and remember at 1:15, so when they would have been walking back to go towards those benches, is there a chance that they would have to see, because right here at this junction, I have at 1:10, that's when Betsy Blair would have been coming up to go get in her car to go take a shit or a piss or whatever. So would Betsy Blair, she said that she never saw anybody except for the girls, which she's claiming is Abby and Libby. And I think she's totally misunderstanding the world right now. But so 1:26. So this is why the state's way of saying to try to move back the timeline to undo the damage that Voorhees just did by saying, if you're saying you saw the guy that's the bridge guy, or the person you think the bridge guy is, over here at about 2:15, he can't be over here at 2:15 and possibly had just been on camera, on the Liberty camera, roll the 43-second video at 2:13. Okay. And over here, Voorhees is saying, well, I saw him, and that was right before we had went home, and we had to be home by 2:20. Okay. So they're trying to say, hey, we're going to go off of this photo, which was at 1:26. The question is, did those girls split up ever? But we'll get to all that. So listen to what Bree says. Remember, Bree is best friends with Kelsey. Bree says, so she had learned that Libby was going out to the High Bridge because Libby had messaged her on Snapchat after seeing her photo of the High Bridge. So the photo that would have been is at 12:46. That's the High Bridge photo. So basically, Liberty would have saw that 12:46 picture and messaged her after that and asking her, are you still at the bridge? But now the question is what time did that come in? So 12:46 is when that snap was put on her story. So she had learned that Libby was going to go out to the High Bridge because Libby had messaged her on Snapchat after seeing her photo of the High Bridge, and so asked her if they were still out there. They were still on the trail when she got that message. And she responded that they had just left the bridge about 10 minutes ago. Ready for this? They lied. With what this broad is saying, then they would have had to lie. If Libby writes you and says, "Are you out on the bridge?" Okay. And she's trying to say, "No, we just left there," right? There was a Snapchat that went out at 1:31 on from Libby's phone. So I'm curious if that was to ask, "Are you guys still there?" Oh no, we just left the bridge. All right. But according to that's according to Bree. But if you ask Voorhees, they didn't leave until 2:15, this area. Okay, because they had to be home by like 2:20, a little bit after, because they had to go to cheer. So she says that they were still out on the trail when she got that message, and she responded that they had just left the high bridge about 10 minutes ago. Later on, they learned that they were missing. She was at home and was with Kelsey German. So Bree says when she found out that the girls were missing, she's at her home where she lives with her brother, and her brother dates Kelsey. But so she's at home, and that's where she learned. So she was with Kelsey, and her grandma had called to let Kelsey know, and that is how she found out that the girls were missing. Now, I thought Kelsey had to go work at Dairy Queen at 4:00. Right? Kelsey, after lunch, had then went back to her boyfriend's house, and then he left to go to work. And she apparently didn't, even though she had to go to work. But and so she's there with, ready for this? Drum roll. She's there with Bree, right? Now, my question is you're best friends with somebody and you happen to pull up in here to drop off your sister because you say, "I don't want to go. I'm going to go to lunch, but I'll drop you guys off at the bridge." And remember I said, I was like, why is she just waiting around? Why is she waiting around? Okay. Why is she waiting around? They left the house just a little bit after 1:30. They would have gotten to the park, to where she parked here. Liberty had her phone plugged in, charging in the car. And so it noted that, and then it was plugged out of it was taken out of the plug. So it noted that. And then she takes two snaps, 1:41 and 1:43, right? And she's in the car though still, because they're right here still. Because you know why? You know what I think? Correct me if I'm fucking crazy, but your best friend's there. You're here. Oh, hey, let me get a ride with you. Let me get a ride with you. So you were waiting. So the question is wouldn't you take, if you're going to be going to pick up your boyfriend where your best friend lives, your best friend doesn't say, "Oh, well, here, yeah, I'll get in the car. And then you can take me." Where's Loop 3? Yeah. "I'll ride with you because you're going to go pick up my brother, who's your boyfriend, and either and I'll just stay at my house, or I'm going with you guys to lunch." Right? I mean, this is my best friend. This is my best friend. Or, ready for this part? Or is there a big or here? Or how pissed would you be? I'd be pretty fucking pissed about this. If my besties didn't invite me to go to the Monon High Bridge, and I started seeing all these snaps appear on the Monon High Bridge, because I'm on Snapchat and I see all my besties are, wait, what the fuck? Why aren't I there? Okay. Oh, yeah, here. I'm going to take my sister and her friend, because that's where they want to go. And then I'm going to have my sister ask them if they're still at the bridge. I'm just curious to see what they say to you. I'm just curious to see who hasn't done that before. Hey, Liberty, snap her and say, oh, are you still at the bridge? I want to see what she says. That's how girls act. Catty. So Kelsey's grandma called to let Kelsey know that this is how she found out. She spoke to the police later that evening because she had been on the high bridge that day and gave a statement about the people that she had seen on the trail. Who did you see? She says, the people that she had seen on the trail. So her description was that she had seen a man walking with a purpose. He had something covering his mouth and nose. It's possible his head was down and that, she had seen his hair, said the jacket was blue or black, and maybe had a hat or on, like later learned that Abby and Libby were deceased. Then she saw the image of Bridge Guy. What do you mean you saw the image of Bridge Guy? How did you see the image of Bridge Guy? How would you have ever seen? Remember, they had to enhance the fuck out of that video. There is no seeing the image of Bridge Guy. Okay, you went to the police and talked to them that night. All right. This is why the sketches are so important, is to find out the dates that these sketches were made. Because here she says, when she found out that Abby and Libby were deceased, then she saw the image of Bridge Guy. What image of Bridge Guy did you see? And the first thing that came into her mind is it was the guy we saw on the trail, and she identified him in court as the same as Exhibit 210. The last photo in the area is the one that was near the farmhouse where they were still in the woods. And when they passed Bridge Guy, he was walking towards the high bridge. And she confirmed that the timestamp on her snap photo was accurate. Now, during cross-examination, thank you so much, Karen, Czar. Let me highlight those. Sue, welcome to membership lane, baby. I got to grab my bell. Karen, thank you so much. I'm going to say it's $999, even though I know that's not, but I just love saying that. Thank you for the $999, Karen. Love her. And she turned 10 of you guys motherfucking green. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Okay. Ready for me to just wait for this? I'm about to blow this all out of the water. This is what I did all night. So Exhibit 210, yes, she had previously described the guy as she stood as tall as her upper forearm. So she is describing a much taller man though, right? He was muscular, right? This is a cross. He was a younger guy. I believe that she might have told police that he was in his early 30s. But she was saying, but that was like 3 years later. She's kind of making, some excuses, blah, blah. She had told police before, she said he had something on his head, so wasn't able to see the hair. And then the last time at the last question to her, he asked her if she had seen a guy around 20 with brown poofy hair, and she had not. This is going to another description, okay, which we're about to hear about. Miss Diener on redirect just established that nobody else on the trail looked like the Bridge Guy. photo. Everyone else that you saw, so Betsy Blair. So we have 3 sisters and Bree. 3 sisters and Bree together, allegedly. But Richard Allen said that he only saw 3 girls together. Well, and that 2 of them looked like they were in charge of, or one of them looked like they were in charge of the other 2, or, but there, it looked like there was like, some babysitting going on. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Ready? That makes sense to me. Because that would mean that Bree separated from the group. And that Alan saw the 3 sisters. Voorhees, Anna, Rayleigh. Right? Because Sugar Tits, Bree, separated from the group, which would make sense to me that Bree got in with Kelsey and went to Bree's house that way. Okay. Which is when? Well, Kelsey's vehicle's allegedly on camera at 1:49, heading this way. And would also make sense as to why she's sitting here waiting around. Okay. Kelsey and Bree are best buddies. Now, that means we're also supposed to believe that so she says that she posted on Snap at that she posted a Snap photo, which was at 1:26. You guys ready? 1:26. And that's why they're like, oh, this is more, we're going to go with this. And this was a picture of, she's like, she posted a Snap right here, 1:26. Okay. And remember I told you that Liberty sends a Snap and says, oh, are you still at the bridge or whatever? And she said that, they're, me and my sister, we're 1:26 to walk back over here and to walk back where they were parked then. We'll do the math on that. And that's going to bring you right up to about that time to be able to, hey, we were going to walk home or whatever. And Bree Wilbur was like, oh, wait, Kelsey's here. I'm going to walk and go get into Kelsey's vehicle because Kelsey's going to my house to go because she's going to be with my brother who's her boyfriend, right? So I'm going to just take a ride with her. And so the separation of the 4 together happens because, and then leaving, like I said, Richard Allen to see 3 people and not 4. Because Richard Allen is alleged to have parked here, right? And they say that Richard Allen, though, is seen allegedly on the cameras here at 1:27. And so he parks here at the CVS. This is what they're trying to say, that that's him. He parks there, then he would get out of his vehicle, come out, walk along this, come down, walk around, come back down this way. Or is it that 1:27 is when he left Or is it not even his car at all? Now, Betsy Blair blows it all up because Betsy Blair should have seen all these motherfuckers, all of them. But this is what Betsy Blair says. She takes the stand. Betsy Blair says that she's always out there, walks the Mona High Bridge Trail a lot in 2016 because she had a regular route that she would walk. And basically she would go to the Mears Trail. So right here, this is where you would park your little vehicle, like two, slide up, and then she would do her little get out. It's right. And then do her loop this way and then turn around before she got to the bridge, come back down, then go down all the way to where 25 is, come back around, and then do it again like that. And she'd do it 3 times. 3 times. So I said, okay, let's compare this shit. She says that when she got there, which she identified was her vehicle, supposedly, at 12:22. So she would have gotten out of her car, then walks down, and she'd have been down by that damn bridge, right all up in when all those people were there. Okay? But she doesn't see anybody. That's impossible, Betsy, because those girls said that they didn't go over the bridge, that they were too chicken shit to go over there. I don't believe that, though. I don't believe those girls were too chicken shit. All right? I think that some of them did. Anyways, but what she says that's hilarious is that she told the police that she parked down at the parking lot across from the mayor's barn, which is right where fucking Kelsey would have been. But not till a little bit later, that she went down to the trail intersection, which is right here. You have to make a decision if you're going to go right or left. Walking down, right or left. But her path is to go left first. So she walked down and she goes left. Went down to the bridge. She turns around at the barricade. She's just describing the trail. So on February 13th, she did her first 2 loops, and she didn't see anyone her first 2 loops. That means that she didn't see anybody, okay, from 12:22 until 1. Let's just put, to be safe, we'll put 1:10. That's being kind. She didn't see anybody out there from 12:22 until 1:10. These girls are all fucking taking pictures. She didn't see anybody her first 2 loops. Now, I will note that her first 2 loops, it took her 53 minutes. And I'm going camera to camera here. She's seen on the camera at 12:22. This is your camera. So she's on it to head to park, 12:22. Then she's seen heading back westbound to go into the Delphi library at 1:15. So I'm at 53 minutes for loops 1 and 2. And to be on that camera to begin with and to end, and which would have been 21 seconds to 26 seconds to get from the camera to park your car to be out of your car. I did it. Then Betsy went to the library to use the bathroom. Okay, it takes 4 minutes to get there. I gave her an extra minute. Takes 4 minutes to get back, gave her an extra minute. So 10 minutes. That's just the driving time. Then I gave her 5 minutes to be in the library to go to the bathroom. So it's a 15-minute trip that took Betsy somehow 32 minutes. Okay. So a 15-minute trip, because if you're like, I'm going to work out type of thing, you're going, this is quick. You're not going to, like, you're not, oh, you know what? Since I'm at the library, let me just go look at the true crime section and see if there's an OJ book. So this should have all consisted of 15 minutes. Then But for Betsy Blair, it took her 32 minutes. Okay. So the next time she's seen on the camera, now ready for this shit, is she's seen on the camera is at 1:46. Okay. She's seen on this camera because she's going to pull in, park, and then get out to make her last loops. All right. Well, guess what, Betsy? If you pulled in here, where's Kelsey's car? And everyone wants to tell you this. Oh, well, Kelsey's just driving here and she just like dropped them off after. So Betsy Blair's parked. Then she walks, to go on her path. And then here's Kelsey. She's seen on this at 1:49. So she just pulls off, drops them off really quick. No, that's not what happened. Because that's not the testimony. The testimony is that she came down, pulled off, and that she sat there for a while. The fuck are you sitting there for a while? Okay. But that's what she did. And then I said to myself, oh, fuck, I know why she sat there. She was waiting for somebody. And the only thing that makes sense to me is that she was waiting for fucking Bree to take Bree with her to her house where her boyfriend is. And then if all three of them went to lunch, that makes sense because she said that she went downtown for lunch. Well, that's how fucking Bree was with them, which would make sense waiting. But now the question should be asked upon everybody here as to why would you lie, though, about the fact that you went with Kelsey and that you actually saw the girls? Why would you lie about any of that? Right? Hold on, though. Betsy Blair. So first, number one thing is, without a doubt, at 1:41 and at 1:43, they're taking selfies, and Liberty is still in the vehicle, allegedly, if these were actually like selfies taken that day and not like screenshots of old selfies or something like that. And so at 1:44, the girls start walking down the path. All right. And Kelsey, Kelsey should be seen on this camera a hell of a lot earlier than 1:49, based on the timestamps and based on the steps. Both of them call. She calls them. Wouldn't this make sense? Kelsey says that she calls her boyfriend at 1:38, and she called, and it was, I know that I dropped off the girls at 1:38 because I called my boyfriend from the lot. At the same time, Liberty used her cell phone. Listen to this. Ready? Ding, 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 ding. She called her dad and wanted to make sure that her dad could come and pick her up. But she was supposed to call and make sure she had a ride home back when she was leaving the house. Because why would you wait until all the way that you got somewhere that you know that your sister wasn't going to be able to take you home? Why would you wait until 1:38 when you're actually like arriving to see if you can get a ride home? When Becky Patty was like, you need to get a ride home. So why wouldn't she call her dad? Or better yet, her dad says that he was there before he went to Frankfort. So at the same time that Kelsey's making a call to her boyfriend, Liberty's making a call to her dad. And I said to myself, oh shit, you know what's hilarious about this? Is that when did Kelsey truly say that she couldn't give her sister a ride? I'm going to leave. We're going to go to lunch. Okay, well, we want to stay. Okay, yeah. So call dad, see if he can pick you up. Because I'm going to leave. It doesn't make sense that you would wait you know, it makes sense to me that Kelsey would be calling her boyfriend, okay, to say, I'm waiting on your sister and then we'll be there. Okay. Do you want to come to lunch with us? We'll come pick you up and then you can go to work. There is female, unknown, full-blown profile that's at that crime scene. And none of these girls' DNA, like there's hair. There was unknown female 1, unknown female 2, and unknown female 3. Unknown female 2 has not been identified to this day. So, but here's Betsy now. Betsy says that she didn't see anyone her first 2 loops. She took a break, at which point she drove down to, downtown. She went to the Delphi library, and used the restroom, and then came back to do her 3rd loop. So on her 3rd loop, when she went down to the High Bridge, so ready for this? This is where it's just so interesting. She gets out of the car, she says, now mind you, she's not seen on this camera until 1:46, which means when you're going to drive for 26 seconds, pull in, then get out of your car, lock your car. I don't know, probably look in your mirror, get out, whatever. Okay, so she's going to start walking. Let's say 1:47. Let's say 1:47. Let me tell you something, guys. You can't have it both ways. Either at 1:47, when she pulled in here, she said that there was no cars parked here. That's where Kelsey would have been. That's not possible. But more importantly, she claims that when she went off to go walking, ready? She ready? She goes, like her normal walk is to go left. And it wasn't until she circles around, because she doesn't cross the bridge, to come back this way, is when she encountered the girls. Ready for this? The girls would have been in front of Betsy Blair. The girls wouldn't have been behind Betsy Blair. Why do you say that, Lana? Well, because let's go off of what Betsy Blair says. If Betsy Blair truly says that nobody was here, there was no cars here, okay, then there's no cars here, because then that means that Kelsey can't be there. That means Kelsey's car can't be there. Where else could it be? I don't know, at the fucking at the cemetery over here. It could have been that they pulled in at the cemetery and that they walked down from cutting through the cemetery to get down over here. And then they came up from this way. Or it could just be that vehicle, maybe it's not even Kelsey's, but then they would have went somewhere. Because their footsteps kept moving. You have to, if you're traveling in a vehicle after so long, it's going to reset like how long, like when it starts counting your steps again. Okay. So that means they would have went somewhere in between when they left Liberty German's house and to getting here. Okay, guys, because 1:30 started some steps, and then it continued until 2:08. And the only way that you're able to run a continuous clock like that is if you're at least touching down and making some steps. And this is where the 1,682 steps comes into play. And it's during that time frame. You can't go longer than 9 or 10 minutes without taking steps, because then your Apple device is going to cut it off right there, and then it would restart. So, she says that when she got back to do her 3rd loop, when she went down to the High Bridge, She saw somebody. She saw a man out on the bridge. He was out on a platform. So if we're going to go off of her, she gets 146, parks her car 147, out. How long does it take to get to that point? I'm going to give her 6. That's being kind. I'm going to give her 5 minutes. 151. 151. She would have seen this person at the bridge. And she just happens to see him out on the first plank. And then, she makes this loop. And then when she starts walking back, okay, so she sees this man. He was about 50 feet away, and she described him as if he was looking for somebody because he was looking like away. And then when you saw, when she was approaching, he turned and he looked, thinking that I was the one that he was looking for. But she just got the impression that he was like waiting for somebody or looking for somebody. She didn't think anything of it. She turned, made her loop to head now. She's going to start walking this way to go down there, And on her way walking here before she got to the Freedom Bridge, she says, she continued onto the Freedom Bridge, didn't see anybody there. On her way, after she saw the man and she made to walk back towards her loop, she saw 2 girls who she later learned were Abby and Libby. What do you mean you later learned that they were Abby and Libby? Did you positively identify them? But so she's saying that, and she passed them between the High Bridge and the Mears parking lot. They were just walking and chatting quietly. What do you mean between the Mears parking lot? That would be putting you up on this path still a little bit. You could have passed them from, you're supposed to be walking down and then you're walking like at that junction, you're continuing to go straight. But it was super interesting that she wants to say that it could have been between the Mears parking lot entrance that she would have seen them. Okay. To the High Bridge, to free, and just like, what? Why? How would you see them up over here if when you're walking, you should just be walking straight to continue on? You're not walking back to your car on that little path. And then I said to myself, oh, that's right. It's because I've said this, that the girls were in front of her. The girls were in front of Betsy Blair. There's just no fucking way that they weren't. Otherwise, it would have been a big old fucking party in the parking lot. It'd have been a party in the parking lot. It would have been a party in the parking lot. Kelsey is in this parking lot. She's seen on this camera at 149. Going this way. Betsy Blair is seen at 146 and she's pulling right in here. But Betsy Blair would have seen like Kelsey sitting there and her, it's just, you're right next to each other. Okay. And she makes no mention of, oh yeah, when I pulled in, there was another vehicle there. You want to hear it's awesome? The other part that's awesome is when Betsy Blair leaves to go take her shit. She's seen on the camera at 115 here. If that's truly Richard Allen, because he says that the lot was full. So when Betsy Blair leaves at 115, like she says, somebody else had to take this spot to make it so there was 2 cars there. Because when Richard Allen allegedly comes this fucking whacked way that they say at 127, when he drove by, because Betsy Blair would have been taking her fucking shit still. who was parked there to make it so there was 2 cars? How about that? Boom, bitch, sit down. It wasn't Betsy Blair's car because Betsy Blair go take a shit. Unless Betsy Blair got in somebody else's fucking car. But that doesn't make sense because Betsy Blair says that's her car. But in the time frame of 1:15 to 1:27, 12 minutes, a car was put there because, Richard Allen said it was full, right? Well, so she says that, she makes this loop and that she sees the girls. Okay, sure, Betsy. And they were just walking and chatting quietly and didn't seem to really notice her or pay any attention to her. She continued. Were you mad about that? She continued onto the Freedom Bridge. Didn't see anybody there. Got back to her car and left the area. Do you understand that she's saying that she's there from 12:22 until this is going to be great, guys. She's then seen, when she says that she leaves, she's seen on this camera at 2:18. So this second loop, or when she comes back for loop 3, which is just one loop, 1:47 to 1:46 to 2:18. Why does it take her so much time to do that? Based on the other times of the 2 loops, she did it in 53 minutes. This loop that she just did, that was the one, it took her, what do I have it as? 32 minutes. By all accounts, that's 64 minutes if you, times that by 2. But the first loop, when she did the first 2, it was 53 minutes. What the fuck was she doing on her last loop? What the fuck is she doing? Why is it taking her an extra, what the fuck were you doing, Betsy? That loop shouldn't have taken you 32 minutes. If you made 2 loops in 53 minutes, come on, this is math. So you would divide 53 by 2, okay? $26 minutes. It's a big deal when you're talking about if you're a fucking worker outer and you want to be, in shape and you're doing this stuff because I got to go back, and you're just so, when you're dedicated like that. Well, what the fuck, Betsy? Why did it take you an extra 6 minutes? And you guys may not think that that's a big deal. That's a big fucking deal. That's a very big deal. When you're talking about working out. Then this happens. Betsy Blair is seen at 2:18. I said, wait, 2:18, that's really important. Wait, what's 2:18 mean? Oh, that's fucking right. That's the same time that the girls is the steps. So the steps are being calculated from like 131 to 208 or 207. Then it stops and it restarts at 208. And it goes from 208 to 218. And then it stops for Liberty German steps. 218, it stops. Then then her steps restart at 232. It moves a little bit. And the movement, though, is that 20-foot drop. So the same time that Betsy Blair is seen on the camera leaving is the same time that the 218 is if like the girls didn't walk from 218 until 232. How about that? Betsy Blair is seen on this camera at 218. And so could those girls have been in Betsy Blair's fucking car? And people would say, Lana, you're fucking wild. Why? I'm just going off of the data. The data shows me that Betsy Blair is getting in her car at the same time that her steps would stop, and she's seen on the camera, is that if the two girls, Abby and Libby, that there's no movement. There's no movement of that phone making any steps from 218. How is that possible? Well, fucking shit. Holy shit. Oh my God, it's possible if, oh God, they got in Betsy Blair's car and got the fuck up out of there. And then what? Go this way because you can go back around and you went to the access road. It's very, very suspicious, isn't it? But when you want to talk about stuff, and you want to truly look at the numbers here, Betsy Blair is seen on the camera at 218. It means Betsy Blair got her ass in a vehicle, right? Because she wants to claim that so bad. And she drove, right? Well, at 208, the girl's phone stops. And it doesn't make another move until 232. Consistent with getting in a vehicle. And what I just tell you guys, why that second loop take us 6 extra minutes? Betsy. Let's talk about Betsy. Why'd that last loop take an extra 6 minutes? Well, were you talking to the girls? Did you say, hey, are you guys here to see Anthony Shots? Did you just message him? That's my son. Or, oh, hey, he's this way. He's waiting for you guys up by the lot. He just parked. He just parked his car. I'm his whatever. I'm his, PR person, because they think that this guy's fucking, but he drove, he's parked there. The girls, oh yeah, he's over here. And then the girls would trust her, right? And that was the last person that she communicated with on Snap. Who's Betsy Blair? Why does Liberty's phone stop at 218 and Betsy Blair just got in her car at 218 almost as well and is seen on the camera that's right outside to get out of there. And then there's a huge drop. The downward elevation's at 231 to 232. But think about this now. This makes a little bit of sense, don't you think? Why would somebody ever go to Delphi Library, baby? Let me tell you what you can do at Delphi Library, baby. Let me tell you what you can do at any library. And this is where you want to go to try to not get caught using devices. Go and use the library's computers. Go and use, I told you guys, Betsy Blair took an extra 15 minutes. Betsy Blair took an extra 15 minutes at the library. If she was just going to get in her, thank you, computers, baby, the internet, baby. Betsy Blair, oh, I need to leave. I have to go pee. I'm like, what? Okay, how far is this Delphi library? So I went and I was like, dude, this is 4 minutes. Get out of my car, go inside, run inside. It's going to be quick because I'm going to get back the fuck up in, then, but I'm there for an extra 15 minutes. Doing what? What am I doing? I'm using a fucking computer. That's what I'm doing. That's what the fuck I'm doing. And then I get back in my fucking car after and then I drive back over to where I was. I get out of my car. I just keep saying, I didn't see anybody. Bitch, all those motherfuckers were there. You didn't see anybody. Get the fuck out of here. If you didn't see anybody, then all this is fucking bullshit too. Betsy Blair's trip to the library takes 30 minutes, you guys. It does not take 30 minutes to do that. It takes 4 minutes to get there. Run in really quick, go to the bathroom. I'm giving you 5 minutes to get there, and I'm even going to give you 5 minutes in the library. That's a 15-minute trip. Her trip was 32 minutes. And her last loop, the third loop, when she gets back, it took her an extra 6 minutes to do. Why, Betsy? There's unknown male DNA or unknown female DNA on the girls. I said that in order to get easy trust, okay, females. And I said, well, if she has truly the Fitbit data, how can this be explained? I said, use your fucking brains, Lana. I said, holy shit, a library. She didn't go fucking looking for a book. She went to use a computer. I said, she used a computer. That's going to be untraceable. Those idiots in Delphi would never think of that. So she says that she gets in her vehicle and that she left. She said, so her husband was the one that called her. Her husband called her. Listen to this then too. Her husband called her because he was at work, saw in the news that Abby and Libby were missing. He knew that she walked out there a lot. And so remember what people do when they're involved in a case? Remember what people do? They insert themselves in a motherfucking case, right? Isn't that what they do? But so her husband, I said to myself, wait, why would her husband have to call her? Why wouldn't he just talk to her at home? She says her husband called her because he was at work, saw in the news. We need to find out, when is the first fucking time that this was in the news locally? Was it at the 10 o'clock news? Because it seems like 6 o'clock would be way too early to be in the news. So was it 10 o'clock news? Because she says that her husband saw the news that Abby and Libby were missing. He knew that she walked out there and in a lot, and so called her and let her know. So she contacted law enforcement and reported to them that she had seen Abby and Libby and a man on the bridge. Another question is what time did you truly see all that? Framing motherfucking this dude in the bridge, right? And she knew it was Abby and Libby. So remember, it's going to come into, wouldn't you know, people's voices. Remember what was asked on cross-examination? What's Liberty's voice sound like? Do you know Liberty's voice? Contacted law enforcement and reported to them that she had seen Abby and Libby and a man on the bridge. And she knew it was Abby and Libby because she also saw the news when they were missing and they had shown their photographs. So she recognized them from the trail the next day. The next day, she learned that the girls were deceased. She saw the image. So think about this. Her husband sounds like her husband's out of town. He's working. Where's her husband? Does he work out of town? So she was able to all get all up involved in this shit because her husband's out of town. I don't know what her husband does for a living, but he was at work and calls her. I would subpoena the fuck out of him and get him on the stand. Ask him where he works. If he told her, I was on the bridge. So again, she contacted law enforcement and she shared, okay. So then she also shares her Fitbit. So think about this. She learned that the girls were deceased. She saw the images of Bridge Guy. She says, I recognize him as the one I saw on the bridge. So again, she was contacted by law enforcement and shared her Fitbit data with them and gave them a description of what she had seen. They had the copy of her Fitbit data and it had lines showing, and she explained how, certain lines represented her first 2 laps. And then there were these shorter lines for when she was on her break to the bathroom. And then the last line and the time was on her 3rd loop. So Bridge Guy, on that, she would have seen toward the beginning of the green line of her 3rd loop. And on her Fitbit, that data would have given them an estimated time, of course. Didn't get to see the exhibit. So I'll take that $225,000 reward money. Betsy Blair, come on down, baby. Betsy Blair inserted the fuck out of herself in this case and lied the fuck out of in this case. She said that she was not able to see his face super clearly. He was out on one of the platforms, and a white male, she said, they had asked her to do a sketch. So when Miss Diener asked her, did you give police a description? She said, I was asked to do a sketch. Well, there's open the door. Isn't the jury, Howe's now heard the jury, yeah, blah, 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 cross-examination, and then it got shut down. She described him as beautiful. She described that bridge guy, the young man, as young and more boyish, and she described him as beautiful in his appearance. Beautiful in his appearance? That's not how I would describe bridge guy. No offense over there to anybody that's bridge guy. All right. Beautiful in his... What? This is what she's saying on the stand. The man she described him as average height, not short, no facial hair. She did not see a hat. Richard Allen had a huge ass beard. When she left the area, it was asked, had she seen a car parked at the CPS lot? And that's where it was objected to outside the scope. And they're bringing back Betsy Blair. So, I believe that Betsy Blair had already said that she did not see a car at the CVS parking lot. Okay. And I think that it makes perfect sense that the reason that when Richard Allen was walking the trail, okay, when he would have been out there, the reason that he didn't see Abby or Libby is A, he was either out there earlier, or B, as I stated here, that I believe that those girls were off anywhere around there. That video at 2:13. I think somebody should try to walk it, and I think somebody should see how long it takes them to get across the bridge and up into the parking lot and into a vehicle. That's what I think. I think Betsy Blair's has to answer a lot of questions. I've never heard of anybody that, if they're so adamant about their workout, that they would leave, go hurry up and pee, but it would take 30 minutes and then still be like, okay, I'm going to go back and do my work. Like, as an athlete, they're not fucking doing that. You're not fucking doing that. I think that the defense should ask her if she has a library card. Exactly, you do. You just go home. Especially if she's going to say that, she can't say that she ran there to hurry up and pee and then come right back, y'all. Then she would have been back on this camera at 1:15, 1:14, no, she would have been 1:30. Yeah, 1:30. 1:30. And I think it's just, you can't overlook the numbers. you can't overlook the fact that do you understand that Betsy Blair is setting it all up? Betsy Blair is the one that said that she walked down the loop. Oh, I saw a guy on the platform. I saw a guy on the platform. Didn't think anything of it. Came back around. Oh, saw the girls. Oh, saw the girls. Walked down, finished my loop, got back to my car, and then left. Betsy Blair is setting this all up. Betsy Blair's loop took an extra 6 minutes. Why? You guys, they should have gotten to Richard Allen a hell of a lot earlier if he was the only one in Carroll County to own a Ford Focus. If the camera is good quality. But the camera isn't good quality. And that's why they didn't know that it was a Ford fucking Focus SE whatever. Because all they would have had to do is run it through the fucking system. And they would have found that there was only one person, like they're trying to claim now, only one person in that area, and it's Richard Allen. Then what the fuck were y'all doing? What were you doing? You didn't know that it was a Ford Focus. And you didn't know that it was a Ford Focus because it was a shit ass camera and it's a blur and you're just having people say, oh yeah, that's my car there. Yep, that's me. That's me. They were looking at records of vehicles that were going by on that County Road 300 North. Oh, and by the way, the person that I think, what's her name sees, Sarah Carball. It's very simple for me. Derek German testified that he had parked here, then he went out to walk. And when you come out here and, you know, he asked the guy, well, did you see any girls that way? No. So then he starts to walk, you know, this way towards the Freedom Bridge. Okay. And it's 3:52 that she says that, you know, that's when she's seen on this camera and that she saw a guy walking that was muddy and bloody. And it looked like he just had slaughtered pigs. I mean, it's just so fucking ridiculous. Okay. And she's a local. Well, guess who walked right there, right then? That's Derek German. That's who was literally right there. Like at that time, Derek German. Like, don't get it twisted. And then she also said when she drove past that she saw people that looked like they were frightened, like they, you know, with a pink shirt and like, you know, they looked like it was just. But I'm thinking that who the fuck would be there at 3:56? I thought that Kelsey didn't know yet. I thought that the family is that when they were just like arriving there at that time. Bizarre, absolutely bizarre. And so the moral of the story is that what Baldwin said is that you need to wait for us, right? But the moral of the story is that in order for the state's theory to work, okay, their timeline has to be between this time and this time, which is 1:27 and 3:50, 6. Lana, how old is Betsy? Betsy's been wiped from the internet. All right. I have no problem saying it. Betsy's been wiped from the internet. So if people out there have anything on Betsy Blair, and you were able to get stuff back in the day. I deep dived Betsy last night, and because I was looking into Betsy Blair and Brad Weber's, if there was any relationship between Betsy Blair, Ron Logan, and Weber. We were getting slap happy last night, and we were saying how Betsy Blair is full of shit and wanted to give Ron Logan a blowjob. That's why she came back. You're just laughing. You guys, this isn't a coincidence. Betsy Blair's story is the most fucked up shit I've ever heard. Like, on all logical. And then you didn't see anybody out there. There's all these people when you're there. You don't see anybody except you're the person that places, you know, these girls. How are we so sure that you didn't see them on your first or second loop of the people that you're talking about? You know, how do you know that it was on your third loop that's when you saw Bridge Guy? You know, after you just were at the library for doing God knows what. You know, Sarah Carbone not coming forward for 13 days. Give me a break, you guys. And all these people saying that they saw Bridge Guy. And after I saw him, I knew that it was him. We need some dates on this. So I'm going to give, I don't know how old Betsy Blair is. I have no fucking, if I would know if Betsy Blair was in front of me right now. I don't know. I don't care fucking how old she is. I don't care if she's fucking 60. I don't care if she's 70. She can't be that old. And I'm guessing she's not too soft on the eyes if she thinks Bridge Guy's handsome. Yeah, so for me it's this. Betsy Blair's vehicle then going westbound at 2:18 p.m. This would have been after she had seen the man on the high bridge she passed, Abby and Libby on the trail. She then continued and finished her loop, and then would have gotten her car and then left in an exhibit that showed Sarah Carbone, who we haven't heard from yet, but she was the bookend. So she's the one that's, you know, going eastbound at 3:56 p.m. So yeah, this is how I broke down Betsy Blair. And we didn't know any of this until, like, you couldn't have broke this down without the information, which was these loops. So Betsy Blair takes it takes her 9 minutes less than normal amount of time to do loops 1 and 2 based off of her third loop. Okay. So I said, or is it that it takes her more time on her third loop? Okay. Is it normal that she should have completed the loop in 53 minutes? 12:22 to 1:15. Everybody, all of those girls, they are out there and Betsy Blair doesn't see them. Bullshit. Then Betsy went to the library to use the bathroom. Again, an extra 15 minutes is unaccounted for. And that's me being kind because it's pretty much like 17 minutes. That means that Betsy was in the bathroom for 20 minutes. I mean, what the fuck's she doing? It seems a little long, right? I mean, and then which if you have the runs, if you have diarrhea, you aren't going back out to the fucking, you're not going back out to the trails. Not to work out. If you have to go out there because you have to do something else, I mean, come on. But no. 146, she's seen on the camera. And then 218, so allegedly she's seen on the camera leaving. And that is 32 minutes for loop 3 from cam to cam, which is 6 minutes over what it should be. Also, based on her previous two, like the math on that. Also, the loop directly puts her in the crossfire of all these people, yet Betsy sees no one other than Bridge Guy and the 2 victims, allegedly. Yet she was there from 12:22 to 2:18, with the exception of from 1:15 to 1:46. There would have been a party at that parking lot, which is the only parking lot consisted of two cars. I said Betsy and Kelsey should have been at the same place at the same time, based on logic and math. That's logic and reasoning skills. And this jury is logic and reasoning. Betsy Blair saw no one the first 2 loops. I have a problem with that. According to Wilbur, she didn't go across the bridge, but the other ones did, and they went allegedly down and to the right. And then I said, and then the bombshell was that Betsy Blair is seen in her vehicle at 2:18 driving, and that is the same time, 2:18, that Liberty German's phone stops doing any steps from 2:18 until 2:31. So 2:18 to 2:31. And then at 2:31, the 20-foot drop happens. And then remember, they were going to go get trail cams, and they didn't go and get trail cams. The testimony from one of the officers during the state's case was that it's possible a relative of Liberty's, but we don't know. We're waiting for confirmation on that. We know that the sweatshirt that Abby was wearing belonged to Libby's sister. That's not true. And then I want to end with this video. So here you guys go. Again, I think that you'll appreciate it. Brad had a .40 caliber gun. Brad did. So Weber and Holder both had .40 caliber guns. Weber's gun was tested, and it cannot be excluded. It can't be excluded. as being the gun to produce the what do you call it? The markings. I don't know if anybody knows that. You guys know that Holder and Weber both had 40 calibers, and Weber's can't be excluded as being the gun to produce the cartridge. This info is not being shared. Oh, I agree, Papa Bear. I agree that's fucking ridiculous, this bullet. And I want to play this then. Okay, so it's an insurance.
We were looking all over the area, and while we were walking, we heard somebody ask what type of shoes the girls were wearing. And I asked them what it was, and they told me it was a black Nike, and they said, yeah, those are Libby's shoes. We were looking underneath the bridge, and as soon as we got back to the private drive, somebody yelled up the hill that they found a shoe. And knowing that I dropped the girls off, and I remembered what they were wearing, I knew exactly what shoes my sister and Abby were both wearing. As soon as they yelled up the type of shoe it was, I knew exactly whose it was. It wasn't long after they told us that they found the shoe that a searcher found the bodies of the girl.
Boom. Boom. What'd I say? Hold on.
Once we got across it, we kind of looked
Hold on
underneath
1 second.
the bridge.
Wait a second. Did you just see this? If you guys have been watching what I've been saying, ready? Watch this. What did I tell you was the source of the only male DNA at the scene? It belongs to who? Whose vehicle is that? That's right there. This one. That doesn't look like law enforcement right there. See right here?
Once we got across it, we kind of looked underneath the bridge.
So did you, when you went across, did you go down the, not to say down the hill, did you go down the first hill to get to the private drive?
Yeah, we did. We went down to the private drive.
And then did you make it down to the next level, all the way down to the, underneath the bridge? You know, there's another hill.
We were way under the bridge. Like, we were looking at all this area. If I would have walked probably 5 feet from where we were, I would have been maybe 5 yards from where her shoe was.
Okay, is this about where her shoe was on? That's just where I put it in. Like,
I honestly, I have no idea where the shoe was. I was way up here, up the hill on the private drive.
oh, you're right.
See, I told it. I told you.
Yeah, I was up here.
That's her fucking car. You guys, that's that fucking Bonneville. Check it out. I knew it. Fucking A, look at this. Right there. That's the Bonneville. Right there. That white car that's it.
Once we got across it, we kind of looked underneath the bridge.
So did you, when you went across, did you go down the, not to say down the hill, but did you go down the first hill to get to the private drive?
Yeah, we did. We went down to the private drive.
And then did you make it down to the next level, all the way down to underneath the bridge? You know, there's another hill.
We were way under the bridge. Like, we were looking at all this area. If I would have walked probably 5 feet from where we were, I would have been maybe 5 yards from where her shoe was.
Okay, is this about where she was found? That's where I put it. Like,
I don't, honestly, I have no idea where the shoe was. I was way up here, up the hill on the private drive.
oh, you're right in this area. Right.
Yeah, I was up here a little closer to the bridge when they yelled it up.
Okay.
But you couldn't see down the hill to where the guy was that found the shoe. So I don't know where the shoe was. I just know they yelled about it and asked me what shoes they were wearing.
Did it seem like they were kind of over in this area when they were?
They were down here enough that I could hear them yell up the hill. So,
okay, but it was on this side of the creek, though, right?
Yeah, this side, but I don't know where they were.
Okay.
Or where she was.
I just put it there because that's the side that, you know, just it could have been over here, you know, wherever they went down and on that path is probably where it was.
Yeah,
okay.
But I was probably right where that kind of bend is, like over. Yeah, I was probably right there.
After crossing the bridge and searching the area underneath, Kelsey places herself on the south side of the creek on the private drive when the bodies were found.
Somebody yelled up the hill to take on the shoe. And knowing that I dropped the clothes off and I remembered what they were wearing, I knew exactly what shoes my sister and Audie were wearing.
She does not specify who found them.
If I would have walked probably 5 feet from where we were, I would have been maybe 5 yards from where her shoe was.
Okay, is this about where she was found? That's just where I put it. Yeah. Like
I honestly, I have no idea where the shoe was. I was way up here, up the hill on the private drive.
oh, you're right in this area. Right.
Yeah, I was up here a little closer to the bridge when they held it up.
Okay.
It wasn't long after they told us that they found the shoe that a searcher found the body. When the girls' bodies were found, did the case immediately switch from missing person to double murder case, or was it a suspicious death type of investigation?
No. Any one of those will always be the worst case scenario, and we put it backwards. So that was a double homicide.
How quickly was the scene secured and an investigation of 2 deaths started?
Almost instantaneously, as I understand it. I got up there about 2.5 hours, 2 hours or so after the girls were found, and at that time it was completely sealed.
I don't remember where I was at that point. I was like all over the place. So I went to my grandpa's house, my other grandpa, and then after that, I'm like total blur until the funeral. And after the funeral, I can talk about whatever. But before then, it's like really real fuzzy stuff.
Yeah.
you were down here, and then you went back up to the private drive, and then somebody says, "Hey, we found a shoe," and what did you do at that point?
So then I was with a lady that actually worked at the school, so I knew her pretty well. And when they yelled up that, not long after is when they said that they found the girls, I tried to run forward, and the lady that was with me actually held me back. She was like, "We don't know who it is yet. We don't know what they found. Let's just wait here." And so I did, and then I looked over and I saw that my grandpa Brad was actually right in front of me. Not the grandpa that you guys all know probably, but my other grandpa was over there, and my first reaction was to run to him and make sure that he was okay, because he has heart problems. So we ended up getting on his four-wheeler and we rode down the private drive back to his house, because he doesn't live too far away from there.
So you went on this private drive this way?
Yeah, we went and past Abby's house. He lives over there.
Okay. Yeah, somewhere down there. Okay. I don't need to go to his house or. But you.
No, he lives down there, but not next to Abby, but down a little ways. Probably, yeah, not far. So I went to his house, and I actually called my boyfriend's dad because he was an EMT. I'm like, I don't know if my grandpa's gonna pass out right now, but if he does, I don't know what to do. So can you please come over here? And I let him know what was happening. And at that point, I don't think that my family had been completely notified yet. So I called my dad and I said, "Hey, I'm at Grandpa Brad's house. Will you come over here?" He came over. We all met there. And then we all calm guy. Ended up going to the command station, is what it ended up being. But we went to City Hall, where we ended up meeting all together as a family, and were officially notified that they were identified as Abby and Libby.
They didn't tell the public, I think, till the next day, though.
Yeah, but they let us know. We knew.
Yeah.
What were we looking for while we were out there?
Anything unusual? Anything unusual at the time?
I have one big issue. When I was out there, I was looking for like my sister. So then when I go to them, they're like questioning me. They're like, "Did you see anybody around you that you were like suspicious about?" I'm like, "No, I was looking for my sister, like on my house somewhere."
Right.
So like now when I think back, and they're like, "Who was with you at the time?" Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, and that's something. Yeah, and that's a good answer.
Yeah, I have no idea. If something hits me and I'm like, "Oh, that guy that I saw," I'm like, "I'll say something. I'll tell you guys." But I'm like, right now,
And you know that could happen eventually.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Me and my uncle actually crossed the bridge. We were yelling for them down there, and I remember getting to the end of the bridge and looking to the left and seeing like somebody had fallen down the hill over there, and I didn't think anything of it. Like everybody goes down the hill, but now, like after taking my forensic classes, I'm like, I should have taken a picture of it. I should have like.
Did you see the disrupted ground? Is that why you thought somebody slipped down there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like.
Did you see the disrupted ground? Is that why you thought somebody slipped down there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and like there could have been like a footprint or something that would have been helpful now, but I wasn't thinking the worst.
No, that's okay.
So like sometimes that like gives me like maybe there was something there.
Somebody knows something else. Somebody's gonna wake up and say, "I can't live this anymore," and it might be tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go check that out. She has videos that I was comparing some stuff that I was looking for, and Yeah. This is for people I know that are talking about where the girl was actually found in the creek. I'm telling you, I saw the pictures, and Abby's hair is not wet. Abby's hair is not wet at all. So that's my only hang up with that is her hair. I think her hair would have still been wet if it was that cold. But this is for those of you guys that think that.
But again, that's subjective opinion based upon what I believe.
Just had a stop by our area. Advised that girls have been found in the water. Can you confirm that? He advised it was John Weaver that told that information.
Maybe it's over.
Advised that girls have been found in the water. Can you confirm that?
We have found 2 bodies. Is that the Sugar Creek? Deer Creek, sorry. In Deer Creek, about a mile east of town. We are investigating this as a crime scene. We suspect foul play.
Prosecutor Robert stated that there are aspects to the crime scene that are they were odd things. This is why this is relating to or involving religious affairs. Is it my audio or is it when I'm playing this music? Is that the audio? Audio's getting worse, really?
So we're back at the picture of Cheryl and Cheyenne. And I just want to show you guys something here that I don't think anybody's actually picked out yet. Can anybody see the cross? It's right there in front of you. Okay, I had to pull this up again for something was just telling me to go back to it again. You know that cross? It is definitely a cross. You want some proof? Check this shit out. You see at the bottom of the cross there how there's that foot stand where you basically step up on it. You see that? But again, that's subjective opinion based on what I believe.
The defense. So the defense is making their case, and it begins today. So let's talk about that, and then I'm going to close out. So let's see here. I had one more. I had lined up 3. Hold on. Okay. Now remember, this is the biggest piece of evidence in the case.
Know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long.
Libby or Liberty German. She has short, shoulder-length blonde hair and blue eyes. She was wearing a tie-dye shirt and black shoes. Abby has medium-length blonde hair and hazel eyes, wearing a gray zip-up sweatshirt and jeans. So it was still chilly on Sunday, but this Monday it turned really, really mild, and it was very nice.
Very warm for February in Indiana. I know some people don't understand that, but when it's normally winter in February, 40 or even 50 or 60 degrees, it's super warm.
And that's when they were getting ready to leave, and Libby was standing at the door. And that's when I told her that you need to take a jacket. It's nice, but who knows? You need to take a jacket. And that's when she looked at me and said, "It's okay, girl." Gave me that smile, and off they went.
One of them had brought sweatshirts, which was really confusing me. So I actually ran back inside and got Abby one of mine, and Libby had one in my back seat since she always rode with me. So I made them take those.
I take your sweater. Did they know to take their sweater or their jacket?
Libby didn't think that she needed to because of how nice it was. But I was like, "Come on, you know that you're gonna need it. It's kind of shaded over there." So she ended up taking it, and Abby had like a short sleeve shirt on, so I was like, "Oh, you guys can take my sweatshirt." So they both had my sweatshirts on. They both had my sweatshirts on. Telling her I loved her, she set it back, and I made sure they both had sweatshirts. So they continued to walk, and I drove away.
Ridic. Yeah. It's just this is wild. It's wild when you go back and you. Oh yeah, here you go. This is what I believe in this right here. I believe that this enhancement is just very interesting. After seeing and talking with Andrea and that you can't see the guy and how they enhance this. So this photo of Abby playing catch in a parking lot wearing a pink shirt and jeans was found in a 2018 exclusive WRTV article. It was with the grandfather. In the article, Abby's grandpa describes the last time he saw his granddaughter the weekend before her murder. So like just that Saturday at a hotel.
After Abby decided she wanted to play softball like her friend Libby, Grandpa drove to Delphi. That was the weekend before the tragedy near the Monon High Bridge.
She called early in the week and said, Grandpa, I'm all signed up for girls softball, and I'd like you to come down
He breaks my heart.
and take me shopping for a glove and a bat and shoes. And it was so warm down here. We got back to the hotel and we played catch out in the parking lot with her new glove, and then we went to the park and I got to pitch to her, hit her some flies, the whole old ramp thing.
Now back to this photo that was supposedly taken by Libby on the 13th. Remember? This is the photo that nobody can find. Ready? Now this is what's crazy. This was done. This video was done, just so everybody knows. Oh, balls. No. Oh boy. Hold on. Okay, here. So different days, same shirt, skinny jeans, hairstyle, facial expression, downward left gaze, angle and lighting of the photographs. This is the photo that is not on the phone. This one. She states, in my opinion, these proportions are way off. Specifically, shoulders and hips are much too narrow and oriented at an unnatural angle, suggesting to me that it is an altered photograph. A few simple edits to reshape the hair and face. Look at, she's doing it in real time. Look over to the left. See that? Getting closer. February 12th, February 13th. Highlights. Look at the highlights. Blurred out. Blurred. Now, I can't be the only one who has a major issue with these wonky shoes. It's 2022. This Photoshop job no longer passes the test. For me, at least. Look at that. Look at that. Get the fuck up out of here. Different photos, same angle, perspective, leg positioning, right leg slightly in front, slightly bent right knee, foot position, shadows and highlights, arm position, left hand in jacket pocket below the hip. It would not require advanced knowledge of Photoshop to use elements from the photo of Abby playing softball and the photo of BG to produce the last photo of Abby on the bridge and manually post it. Oh my God, did you guys just see that? And manually post it to Snapchat through the memories function. Oh my God. This could have been an attempt by the people responsible to stage a later time of death or a calculated move by law enforcement to draw out the killer. If law enforcement didn't alter the image themselves, then they likely know it has been manipulated. Keep in mind that staging is consistent with the MO of this perpetrator. What have I been telling you guys? Who's that unknown DNA male profile? They ran it through. CODIS, no hit. They ran it through their database, no hit. Only to then run it through a little bit later for some strange reason that they wanted to run it through their database again, which is wild. Only that time it hits, and it is somebody that's employed at ISP. The sneakers look fake because they probably are. Notice how black Converses are never discussed or included on the bolo for Abby. Well, they were there. Why does this photo matter so much anyway? Because other than lay testimony of family members, what evidence do we have that the girls were even alive on Monday, the 13th, excluding this questionable photograph? Let today be the day. All right. Well, Betsy Blair. All right, guys, until next time. We'll have great updates here because the defense will be approaching lunch here in about an hour. The defense will be approaching lunch here in an hour. And so we'll see how the first 3 hours Oh, is it info? Oh, Kelsey's car? I'll look. They never gave a year, I don't think. But I think I'll get that. So let me see one other thing really quick. If it's still available. Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna play this. For one purpose, if I can find it. Damn it. Oh, okay, here.
An update now on our top.
Scary situation right now, and I just want her home.
An update now on our top story: those two missing girls in Carroll County. The Sheriff's Office and members of the Delphi area community continue searching for those missing girls in the Delphi area, saying now they won't stop until those 13-year-olds are found. It's been nearly 24 hours, of course, since they were reported missing. 13-year-olds Liberty German, Abigail Williams, last seen around 1 o'clock Monday afternoon near the Monon High Bridge, that abandoned rail bridge just outside of Delphi. News 18's Brad Oppenheim joins us now live from Carroll County, where that search continues at this hour. Brad.
Jeff, like you said, Liberty German and Abigail Williams were last seen yesterday afternoon when they were dropped off near that bridge. Now, they had made arrangements to be picked up by family members later that afternoon, but they never showed up. Now, a staging area has been set up at the Delphi Fire Department, and since I've been here, I've seen hundreds of people come in and out of this staging area. We are told that volunteers will be sent out in groups where they will comb the area in efforts to find these two girls. I was able to actually catch up with Abigail Williams' mother, Anna Williams, and she says she is amazed by the outpouring of support from the community. I also spoke with the Carroll County Sheriff, Tobe Lesenby, and he says they're working with officials on getting an Amber Alert issued. Just in the last couple hours I've been at the staging area, I've seen and spoke from volunteers that don't even live in Carroll County, including one man from West Lafayette who came over and joined the search. He said he has a teenage daughter himself and wanted to do what he could to make sure those girls make it home safe. Now, as we continue to learn new information, we will keep you updated online, and we'll have more information on News 18 at 5 and 6 tonight. For now, reporting live in Carroll County, Brad Oppenheim, News 18.
Gates is uncovering the first link between a fake social media profile run by Kegan Klein and the unsolved Delphi murders. So far, he has never been charged, but Klein was arrested in August of 2020 on
I'm not muted.
30 charges of child exploitation and pornography. In the transcript of that 2020 police interview with Klein, just a few days after the bodies of Libby and Abby were discovered in Carroll County, another school-age girl gave her address to the Anthony Shots profile. That girl was getting off the school bus when she says she saw a man in a ski mask looking into her bedroom window. Now, Klein personally knew the girl and her family. And then 5 days later, police raided the home where Klein lived with his father in Miami County. They found over 100 sexually explicit images of underage girls on several devices. Now, in the 2020 interview, police questioned Klein about whether his father had access to those devices. The person behind Anthony Schott's profile was one of the last communications with Libby German before her murder.
Boom.
And after her death, the Anthony Schott profile told another.
Boom, right there, guys. Right there. This account communicated, okay? But you can sign into this account. You can sign into Snapchat anywhere. It's just as long as you have the password. It'll kick you from your device that you are currently on. But remember, if that's accurate, if that information is accurate, the Snapchat then that went to Kelsey's best friend Bree to see if she was still on the bridge wouldn't have been the last one. Okay.
Person that he was supposed to murder. The person behind Anthony Schott's profile was one of the last communications with Libby German before her murder. And after her death, the Anthony Schott's profile told another person that he was supposed to meet up with Libby, but she never showed up. But look at what police told Kegan. Quote, I can honestly sit here and I'm telling you that I do not believe that you killed Liberty. Kegan Klein is not charged with the killings of Liberty German and Abby Williams, as we've mentioned. Police would tell Klein, though, they believe a second person was communicating with the girls.
Oh my gosh, I gotta go. I think I found something. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Bye, guys. Much love. Much love. Peace out, Girl Scouts. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Thank you so much, Sue. Okay. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you so much, Karen. The mom of Carson, thank you so much. Sonia, great sleuthing, Lana. Is Betsy short for Elizabeth? I don't know. Any socials for her under that name or court records if anyone can find her. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Wow. Okay. If anybody needs to get in touch with me, the mind challenge at gmail.com. Peace out. Be careful. Thank you so much.